Hello and welcome, Blitz N Burn, that's session number 3. It's Alan here again, so hopefully your whole body feels like it's had a great workout so far. So we've really got those muscles working, we've got the abs, we've got a whole lot moving. And you've had a great time so far. So let's begin with a little warm up and get you ready for today's session. So we're just going to begin with a few shoulder circles to mobilise the upper body. Get the chest, the shoulders, the arms and the back muscles loosened up and get them ready to roll. Start kicking the feet out, get a little bit of a movement there as well. That's fantastic. Okay, shake the wrists, shake the ankles. Let's get the blood moving around, people. Let's go. Into hip circles next. So just like hula hooping, you know the score by now. Let's get a nice bit of rotation through that lower body, through the spine and build some mobility. Excellent, looking good. Really working those hips to a comfortable level. Fantastic, looking good. Working at a pace that feels good for you. Excellent, good job. Next up, a little bit more of a shake. Let's get things moving, let's get that blood pumping around a bit. Let's kick those feet away, releasing any tension. Opening up through the chest, through the back and through the shoulders. Keeping the elbows slightly bent, just get those legs moving at the same time. So we've got a nice challenging session planned for today, session number 3. We're going to build on what we've already learned, but also progress at the same time at a level that's suitable to you. Right, let's get a bit of a pendulum movement going next with the hips. So just a nice side to side flexion. Excellent, there we go, looking good. Reaching down towards the knees as we go if you can. That's just going to help us get a little bit more mobility as we go through. Fantastic, there you go. So next up, just going to take the feet a little bit wider, shifting the weight from leg to leg, so we get a bit of an inner thigh stretch. We also get the hips a little bit more mobilised at the same time as well. Brilliant, looking good. Just working at your own tempo there, people. So just get those legs and arms moving again. Let's get the hands up in the air. Let's get a few shoulder pressy type movements going on. A little bit of a flick of the wrist at the same time. There we go. That's it, looking good. Fantastic. So again, shake it out again. Let's get those movements coming, people. A little bit of a bounce, a bit of a march on the spot if you need to. Yeah, that's it. Looking good. Shake it out. Shake it all out. Fantastic. So let's get any movements we can. A little bit of a side kick, if you will. A little bit of a march. Let's actually get those legs moving. Brilliant. Next up, we're going to go into some rotations, keeping the arms nice and loose to begin with. Perfect, good job. Just taking it stage by stage. Torso moving, hips moving, arms nice and flopping. Brilliant, good job. Just keeping the arms nice and loose, relaxing into it. And then back in for a few shoulder and arm circles, just really opening up through the posture now, building on the work we've already done so far. Lateral flexion coming up next, and a few side bends, really opening up through the body, increasing the space between the ribs, between the rib cage and the pelvis at the same time. So a great way to get yourself fired up and ready, working through the frontal plane. Okay, feel free to add a little bit of rotation in if you want, bringing the elbow down on the opposite arm as we reach up into the air with the hands. Okay? A little bit of movement from the hips as well if you want, entirely up to you. If we get the hips moving, it's going to get a little bit of a stretch through the legs at the same time. Okay? Fantastic. Hopefully you've started to warm up by now. We're going to move into a few kicks next. So just kicking that leg straight out in front. Try and use the opposite hand just to reach down to that leg. So you feel the stretch all the way through the hamstrings and through the calf and the hip. Okay, change your legs when you're ready, so straight into the other side, same process. Just getting a nice bit of mobility there, really loosening those muscles off today, okay? A little bit of a bounce out, a bit of a jog on the spot. Start bringing the heels up towards the hips and try and kick yourself in the bum as we go through, so you can bring a little bit of a chest pressing, row type movement in there as well. Okay, that's just going to open up the front of the body as well as the legs and the hips, okay? Excellent, so straight into a little bit of a bounce around. Start getting that blood moving. Feel free to march on the spot as well if you choose to. Keeping the arms nice and loose and floppy. Getting ourselves ready for the workout. Okay, we're almost there, people. Get ready to go. So today we're going to kick off with some ladder climbs, straight into a side hop and reach, bear crawls, and then single leg hops. Okay, so you know what's coming. The ladder climbs. So when you're ready, let's go. Arms reach overhead, get a few practices in. As you can see, knees up, arms reaching. Let's go, go, go. 20 seconds. Work as hard as you can. Get a feel for the exercise. Remember, knees coming up to hip height or thereabouts. Pulling with the arms. So it's just like we're climbing a ladder or climbing a rope. Okay? Really getting those legs and arms moving, though, people. It's a whole body exercise. Fantastic. That's it. Looking good. And rest. 10 seconds, use it wisely. Side hop with a reach coming up next. Single legs. Okay, let's go. So a bit like a skater's type lunge as well. So imagine we're ice skating, sweeping that arm down in front of the knee and just leading that back leg to trail through. Okay, nice soft landings. Start small, start slow. Brilliant, good job. And resting, well done. So shake it out a little bit, bit of recovery time. Heading down onto the floor next, arms and legs reasonably straight, we're into bear crawls, okay? Keep the bum up in the air, bending the knees, bending the elbows a bit, working all the way down and back round. So a nice bear crawling movement, people, feel it working the whole body. Fantastic, that's it, and down we go again. Just keeping the hips nice and high, really working that body today. Perfect, good job, and rest time. Single leg hops, okay? We're going to go down with one leg, we're going to come back up using the other leg. Use your arms and your other leg for balance. Let's go. Small hops to begin with, fairly quick. Changing legs, up we come. There we go. Perfect. Nice springy movements here, people. Remember, keep that knee nice and bent. You're not putting any undue pressure into the joints today. Excellent, there we go, that's it. Hopping, hopping, hopping. Fantastic, well done. First round, out the way with. Getting ready for those ladder climbs. Who's ready? And let's go. Straight back in, ladder climbs. Knees high, hands high, pulling through. Shoulder pressing tight movements. Really getting that whole body moving. Should feel the abdominals working overtime as well. That's it, that's what we're looking for. Keep going, nearly there. Fantastic, keep pushing. And rest, well done. Next up, side hop and reach. Okay, remember, nice sweeping movement with that hand. Use your back leg to balance and trail through. Let's go. So imagine that you're ice skating, you're speed skater, whizzing around that ice rink. Okay. As you reach through with the hand, down past the knee, which is going to load into that glute, into that thigh muscle. Really feel it working now. Fantastic. There we go. And resting. Well done. Next up, we're back in for everyone's favourite, bear crawls. So you can imagine your bear grills if you want when you're doing them. Keep that bum up in the air. Let's go. All the way through. Feel the abs working. Keeping a nice amount of weight on the hands as well as the legs. Okay, so we're not dominating with one area. The whole body should feel like it's working at this point. There we go. That's it. Perfect. Looking good. Get a few of those in there. Remember, if you've got enough space, feel free to keep going. I have to stop and turn around, otherwise I'm going to end up in the river. Brilliant. Single leg hops. Let's go, go, go. Remember, it's only a quick rest. Straight back to work. Changing legs over. Keep on hopping. Fantastic. That's it. Nice and speedy. Nice and springy. Almost there, folks. Keep pushing. Last few seconds. And resting, well done. No, we're not resting, we're hopping still. Almost there, folks, keep hopping. And now we rest, there we go, well done. So a little bit of recovery time, yeah. Into the abs now, we've had our first block, so wide stance, elbow to knee. We need the feet wide on the hip width, 2 times hip width. Elbow is heading towards the knee as demonstrated, okay? So really working into those obliques, get a good squeeze on those abs. Remember the hips, the knees bend, the hips bend. We're working one side at a time here. So really squeezing out those muscles that are on the side in between your rib cage and your pelvis. Okay. Straight into the other side, let's go. So you can see now I'm bending into my knee, I'm flexing the spine, I'm rotating the spine. So take it at your own pace. We don't want to feel any undue stress on the back. We need to make sure those abs feel like they're getting a great workout today. As I come back to the start, I'm just opening up through the abdominals and through the rib cage. Right, next up, down onto the floor. Down for the raised leg ab curls. So knees at 90 degrees, laying on the back. Legs can be a little bit straighter if you want. Again, we're going to use the hands together just to reach for the toes. Then we're going to go for each side of the legs. Okay, so one straight up, one to each side. Just a little bit of a reach out to each side. You should feel the sides of the abdominals working, really getting into those waistline muscles. Okay, 3 simple movements. Feel it all work. Excellent, there we go. So just taking your time here. Remember, if it gets too much, using the hands, we can support the head and the neck. Feel free to straighten your legs as well. Got that as an option. There's always options, people. Remember that. The idea here is just to stay with me and keep moving. So really getting those abdominal muscles burning. Getting you a great workout today as we blitz through. Fantastic. Well done. Next exercise, we're going into the seated knee tucks. So we're doing 3 exercises. Find your balancing point on your bum. Hands are there for support. Feet and knees together. And we're bringing the knees in towards the chest. As demonstrated, work at your own pace. Okay. If 2 legs is too much, just try the 1. If you're feeling extra brave, take your hands away. Keep your balance using your arms. Okay. Right. End of round 1. Give yourself a little wipe off. Grab a drink. Have a breather. Well done. Good effort so far. Grab a few seconds to recover there. Okay, so we know the exercises. We should be reasonably familiar with them by now. 3 simple exercises, starting with wide stance, elbow to knee. Okay. Right. Back in for the ladder climbs. So let's go. Back in with the cardio. Knees up, arms working overtime. Really get the speed out this time, folks. Keep pushing. So it's all about the speed here. The faster you go, the bigger the movements, the more of a workout it's going to give you. Try and get those knees up and rest. Back in for exercise 2. Side hop and reach. Let's go. So remember, you push as hard as you can. The wider those jumps, the lower you go, the more you bend that knee and reach towards the floor, the harder that leg's going to have to work. Your hips and your thighs should be screaming at you by now. Fantastic, there we go, that's it, looking good. Keep pushing and rest. Then we work to the very last second. So getting ready for the next exercise, we're back in for the bear crawls. So hips up in the air. Remember, arms and legs working as one unit. You should really feel the heart and lungs still pumping from the last exercise too. Midsection's having to work. Just keep those abdominals braced. Make sure that your posture's reasonably good. Keeping those hips up towards the sky as we crawl through. Brilliant, good job. You know what's coming. Single leg hops. And let's go. Hop, hop, hop. Nice and springy. Okay, really try and get the height as well as the distance this time. So the further you can jump, the higher you can jump, the more those legs are really going to have to work, okay? So it's only a short burst, remember, it's going to be over quick enough. Just try and push through. Stay with me until the very end. Fantastic. That's it. Good effort, folks. Good effort. Bit of recovery time. You know what's coming. Back in for ladder climbs. Let's go, people. Really pushing it out this time. Working as hard as you can. Get those knees up. Remember, if the arms and the legs get too much, just revert back just to using legs. But ideally, stay with me. Keep pushing till the very end with the arms and the legs. You'll get so much more from it. Fantastic. Well done. Good job. Got the side hops and the reaches coming up. You know. Oh, yes. And let's go. It's a nice graceful glide from side to side. Okay, use that back leg to help counterbalance. Use your arm to help with the balance. Fantastic. That's it. Looking good. Keep working with me. Keep moving. And you can work a little bit slower if you need to. The movement stays the same. Fantastic, well done. Everyone's favourite, bear crawls coming up next. Get that bum up in the air, let's go. Fantastic. That's it, feel the burn, baby. Feel the burn, the whole body should feel like it's working. Remember, hips up in the air, legs working, arms working overtime. Brilliant, good job. So you should really feel that whole body getting a good workout today. Fantastic. Get ready for some more hops. You know what's coming. Single leg, nice and bouncy. There we go, perfect. That's it, just try and get the speed. Remember, speed, speed, speed. We're looking for as much bounce and as much speed and distance as you can possibly muster up. We are approaching the last parts of the workout, but that doesn't mean we're going to slack off, does it? Oh no, it doesn't. Fantastic. Good job, people. Good job. So remember, just give yourself a bit of a breather there if you need it. Make your way down to seated. Going to hit the abs, starting with knee tucks. And let's go. So knees in and out, okay? Seated knee tucks. You want to feel the lower abs working in particular. If you want a bit of a variation, we can do a few to the side as well. If you're fine with a straight one, stick with the straight ones. The sides are going to work you a whole lot harder. So you can see there, a little bit of rotation and then finishing with the regular straight ones, okay? We've hit the sides as well as the front of the abdominals then as well. Yep, feel a difference? Absolutely. Next up, legs up in the air, back to your curl straight up, and then one to each side. So nice controlled movement. We're not rushing, we're not trying to jerk the movement. It's a nice smooth crunch. Really feel that curling movement all the way through the abdominals. So I'm lifting up the vertebrae section by section. And I'm just lifting my shoulders, my head and my neck. Fantastic. That's reach out to the sides. It doesn't need to be massively pronounced, but you should feel the difference every time we do it. We're just getting into those side waistline muscle areas. Okay, it's fantastic for getting into that whole tummy. Brilliant. That's it. Looking good, people. Looking good. We're almost there. So pop yourself back up to standing. Wide stance, elbow to knee coming up again. So hands together, and let's go. So working from one side straight to the next. As we stand up tall, just push the hips forwards a little bit, open up through the abdominals before we squeeze and contract. So lengthen to strengthen. Really working that midsection today, folks. Good job. There we go, perfect, looking good. So stay with me until the very end. You might feel like you want to stop, you might feel like you want to have a rest. Not today. Keep pushing through, because this is where you're going to get the real work and the real results are going to come for you. Fantastic, there we go, looking good. We're almost there. So stay with me. And resting, well done. One more round and then we're all done. And we do have to have a stretch out, etc. Just going to make sure we finish you off properly today. So just give yourself a bit of a breather, have a little shake out if you need to, have a walk, grab a drink of water, etc. Now is the time for that. You might even want to mop your brow. Right, so it's using the last few seconds of your rest time. Going to get you back ready, start moving, start shaking, get that heart rate back up, get ready to go back to work. Ladder climbs, let's go, straight back in there. Come on guys, it's the final round. Now is the time to give it your all if you haven't done so already. Any energy you've got left in the tank. Really using up those energy stores today, that's it, fantastic, looking good. So reaching high into the sky and resting, well done. Shake it out, side hopper reach coming up next, low scale lunge. And let's go, reaching through. That's it, perfect, good job. So as we're reaching through, it's a nice smooth transition, nice and graceful, using that back leg to help balance us out and to assist with the momentum. Brilliant, there we go. Feel those hips working. And resting. Well done. Yep. Have a well-earned breather. 10 seconds, you've earned it, you've used it wisely. Bear crawls coming up next. Let's go. Back to the wild. Back to those primal movements. Get that bum up in the air. Crawling, crawling, crawling. So remember, if you've got enough space, just keep going. If you need to turn around, work with what you've got. Do the best that you can. You can walk fast, you can crawl slow. Just keep moving is the aim of the game here. Especially at this point in the workout. Just give it everything you got. Brilliant. Single leg hops, let's go. Really jumping now, people. Try and jump around half a metre to a metre. Even more if you can. Pretend you're on the Olympics and you're aiming for the long jump. Fantastic, there we go. Keep going. Nearly there. Remember, it's the last block of exercise before we finish up for the day. Fantastic, well done. One more round, let's go. Ladder climbs, 20 seconds. Let's push, climbing that rope. Knees up, arms working overtime. If I'm suffering, if I look like I'm working, you should feel like you're doing some work too. Come on, people, keep pushing. This is where the real work's getting done now. And resting. Great effort so far. Getting ready for the side hop with a reach for the last time today. And off we go. Straight in there. Nice graceful gliding. Working, working, working. All the way through. Fantastic. So, use that leg to step through. Remember, it can be a step. If you find the jumps are too much, just step it out. That's fine. Okay, resting when you're ready. You know what's coming. Get those hands on the floor, get ready to crawl. And off we go. Remember, you're a grizzly bear, you're in the forest. You're hunting for your dinner. You're not going to let it get away. That John West salmon, you're going to catch it and grab it out the river. That's it, brilliant. Good job, people. Keep those hips up. Don't you think about stopping. Slow it down if you need to, we're nearly there. And resting. Good effort. We all know what's coming up next. Last exercise, single leg hops. Let's go. Make them count, make them fast, make them bold, and best of all, make them springy. Excellent. Looking good, folks, looking good. So those legs should definitely be screaming at you by now. Remember, you keep pushing until the very last second. Nearly done. Nearly done. And resting. Fantastic, good job. Shaking it out, walking it out. You do whatever you need to recover. Grab yourself a well-earned drink, have a breather. It's been a challenging session today, so thank you for making it this far. Number 3, we've still got 2 more to go. So shake it out, walk it out, do whatever you need to. We can have a little stretch out and cool down before we wrap up for the day. So if you make yourself down, make your way down to a kneeling position, low lunge. You're going to stretch out the hip flexors and the thighs, interlocking the fingers behind the back, stretching out the chest, the shoulders and the arms. So as we're doing so, as always, nice deep breathing. Relaxing into the stretch. Fantastic, looking good. So changing legs over when you're ready. Using downward dog as a transition. So it's pushing your hips up into the air, trying to get the heels down, stretching out the whole back line of the body. So just relaxing into it. Fantastic, looking good. Deep breathing, remember we're not holding the breath here. Trying to relax and let that heart rate come back down to a normal level. Stepping through into the other leg. Same process, get your balance, find that low lunge position, get your initial stretch. So I want to feel the stretch on the front of the hip and the thigh area. And then when you're ready, interlocking the fingers, getting a lovely stretch for the chest, the shoulders and the arms. Fantastic, that's it, looking good, people. almost done. So you've done a great job today. So next up, you just make your way through into a seated position. I'm going to go for the inner thigh and groin stretch, so soles of the feet together, using the elbows just to lightly press down on the inside edges of your thighs. We can gently drop the head and the torso into the stretch to increase. Make sure that it feels good for you, make sure it feels comfortable and you're not overstretching. Everyone's going to be different in terms of flexibility, you never want to overstretch. Okay, so if you find that you need to, you can take the hands forwards, away from the feet, and just increase that stretch through the upper back and the mid-back area. Once you're ready, you can come back out, walking yourself back to the start and then going into a laying position, crossing your right ankle over your left thigh or your left knee, and then just gently pulling in on the back of the thigh to increase the stretch around the right hip. As we do so, we're just going to relax into it with steady breathing, nice and controlled. Perfect. So remember, feel the stretch in the right areas, nice, controlled and relaxing. That's the aim of the game here. When you're ready, just gently allowing the body to rotate over towards the left so the sole of the right foot ends up on the floor. And you're just going to stretch out the side of the body, arms are out to the sides of the shoulders, and the shoulders remain flat on the floor. Perfect, looking good folks. So returning to the start, uncrossing the leg, changing sides, so the left foot is now on the right knee, and grasping just behind that right thigh, allowing the right leg to relax as we pull in to apply a bit of pressure and stretch out that left hip. So just take your time with it, remember deep breathing and relax into it as far as your body wants you to go today. Everyone's different when it comes to stretching. So you've just got to make sure you stretch to your own ability. There you go, brilliant, looking good. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's session. So and just relaxing, taking the foot to the outside edge again, allowing the body to progress into a lay-in twist. Shoulders remain flat, and of course we can look out over the opposite shoulder if we need to. Taking your time now. So as you can see, I've got a bit of company coming in behind me. That's it. And making your way back to seated. Spin over onto your front. We're going to go for a thigh stretch next. So we're laying face down, pulling the foot in towards the bum, pushing the hip into the floor. So we've already stretched the hips and the thighs a little bit. We've really worked the legs quite hard. So we're stretching them out just a bit more today. Hitting them with a thigh stretch laying down. So use your other arm as a little bit of a pillow if you need to. And of course, still breathing. Change your legs when you're ready. Same process, other side. So making sure that you haven't got a gap beneath your hip. So if there's a big gap there, try and push your hip into the floor just to increase that stretch, just to give you a little bit more benefit. That's it, looking good. Fantastic. Just make your way back out of that stretch. We're almost done folks, we're almost done. Bit of a stretch for the shoulder and for the upper back area. So just bringing the arm across the body, pulling in gently just above the elbow. So you'll feel the stretch in a nice way. As always, you're not going to try and stretch too much. So reaching forwards with the hands, stretching out the mid to upper back area, just allowing the head to drop into it a little bit as well if you need to, if it's comfortable for you. That's just going to increase the give you a bit more of an effective stretch. And stretching the other side as well. Brilliant. There you go, good job. So we're almost done, folks. Just holding that stretch for a few more seconds. Breathing into it. So you've had a fantastic workout today. I'm very pleased that you've joined us for all of the Blitz and Burn sessions so far. Happily look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste. Have a great day. Goodbye.